Mrs. Nutnfancy, come here in front of the camera and tell the audience if you agree with what I'm getting ready to say.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, I'm going to say women should not vote. Are you in agreement with that?
Yes.
There you go. This is the actual height difference between my wife of 36 years and myself. No joke, right?
Yep.
Look how short you are.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I think I can vote. I'm
Oh,
pretty smart.
she's awesome.
Because I don't, go on emotions.
Did you hear that?
Effing 18-year-old girls are idiots.
Step up to the mic, my friend. Be bold in your opinions.
I'm just saying, a lot of young people, especially, women in general, they go off of emotions and feelings.
Fact. We would not have one Democrat president in the last 50 years if women couldn't vote. So I don't want women to vote because I want strong marriages. I want cohesive households. I want representative government all the way down to the family. And I also want babies not murdered.
Yeah.
I don't want drag queen story hour. I don't want rainbow jihad. And none of that could happen if women couldn't vote.
So true or
I'm
false,
not like
does
that.
that make them more easily manipulated?
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
And they get offended and, someone makes them feel bad, then, they're going to vote for the woman.
Yeah, and so I'm going to talk about Camel Toes Harris. I'm sorry, Hawktua Harris is what I should call her a little bit. Make some predictions. She doesn't like that, but I will. And I just want you to know before she leaves is she's way more conservative than I am. True or false?
True.
That's true, dudes. I am not messing around. She is more conservative. She is a raging conservative. She listens to politics 24/7. True.
24/7. Got there
Look,
again. I have to do it that way because he doesn't like it. He tells me enough.
She's
going to
say I get angry. I don't get angry.
But he says enough politics for the day.
I do say that.
And
I say you need
Nope.
to balance your life because I don't know about you guys, but if I'm in the political realm and I'm listening to what's going on, and I know what's going on, and anything I miss, trust me, she fills me in. It just pisses me off. In fact, I pretty much live in a state, when I'm thinking about where this country is, I live in a state of irritation/anger. How about you?
Yeah, but it doesn't affect me.
Bull crap.
Like it does you. Like I get mad and
you
ornery,
are so full of
But I
crap.
can go and still listen and look at my Instagram, and I'm fine. But
No, it irritates you.
You're on it for days.
It irritates you.
You don't like me to tell you sometimes what I'm listening to and what I hear.
Well, she gives me an earful every day, and I like it. Literally, I'm not kidding around. Anything I may miss in the political realm, I'm talking state politics, especially with the communist Governor Cox, globalist.
Thing about them, I think that they're the governor of Utah is that way. It's a certain sort of man, and they hate themselves so much. And my operating rule in life is if someone hates himself, he's probably not going to love you. It's guys like that who just get off on abasing themselves. That's totally cool.
I think the word is cuck.
It is,
I think
literally
the word
is
is
cuck.
cuck.
They are.
Idiot, supported by certain entities that should not support him. She'll fill me in. She'll let me know what's going on. And then I listen too. I know what's going on. I have my sources. Mark Dice is awesome. Tucker Carlson's awesome. Salty Cracker's awesome. I know you guys got your own. And there's some other great voices out there I've talked about, but that's our main sources. Oh yeah, and Gateway Pundit. So if I want to get a true snapshot of a certain story, I can't get it from any of the CPF. Mm-hmm. And in fact, that's really how you're going to know if someone's a moron. And welcome to my rant session called Stupid People. I was going to call it Stupid Americans, but I'm going to define what I think an American is, and you may see that is in conflict with my theme of the video. But we're talking about stupid people and how they are and will ruin this country. And they are legion. Do you have any other rants you want to say? I love having you here. Help me carry the video, dude. Why do I have to carry every damn video?
I don't know. Gotta
So-
go play the ball with the dog.
Okay, go ahead. I may call you back, so answer the call. So this is going to be therapeutic for me. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be a rail session. If you are easily offended, leave. I don't care. I do not effing care. Leave. This is a rail session on why we are going to end up in a very dark situation in this country. And I have been predicting this the entire time of the Nutnfancy project. This is not new. Now that Mrs. Nutnfancy's gone, I can say this. I predict Haktua Harris is going to win. She doesn't like me saying that. Come back here on camera. Tell these guys. She's railing on me. She heard me say that. Now, don't take that. Hold on. Don't take that to mean you should not vote. Vote, 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 vote. Because here's the thing. If you do not vote, if you are not politically active, if you're not donating to like Win Red, Trump, I think you're just as guilty as the people I'm going to be railing about in this video. You're just as guilty. You have no leg to stand on. You have no standing with me personally. I've always said that. Do not take that the wrong way. What do you have to say about it?
That irritates me you say that.
Tell them.
He didn't think Trump would win in 2016. I just kept
That's
my
true.
mouth shut.
That's true.
Because I thought you have to have hope.
Listen, if I'm wrong, I will totally admit fault, as I did with the Trump victory. I said, hey, and to be honest, I was not a big Trump fan, was I? Mm-mm. I was like, well, he's like unnecessarily combative. I didn't like that characteristic, but when he became president, I saw what he did. I became a Trump fan, so did she. But that's my prediction. What's your prediction? If you're going to say your prediction.
Win. He's freaking going to win. Enough people have to get out there. I think more people are for him. It
Look
just
at
depends
this
on
little
if they're
dynamo.
freaking doing
She's all
cheating and stuff.
High.
He's going to win. He's going to win.
Shit, I'm breaking my back.
Probably
Oh,
are.
shit, no, I'm just kidding. Dude, she's totally losing weight, too.
He's going to win.
She's jogging every day.
He's going to win. That's all right. You don't need to tell them that.
I just did. Okay, so that's that. I hope I'm wrong, but I'll point to this video if I'm right. And there's people that will say, how did we get to this situation? They should be saying that now.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks. Excuse me, where's the lobby?
And let me say this. Anybody who is undecided after seeing the bullshit, and by the way, I may cuss a lot in this video. No apologies. It really puts a point on the point. They're morons. They're some of the people I'm talking about. That you're undecided. You're like, I really don't know if I'm going to vote for Harris. I really don't know if I'm going to vote for Trump in the state of Utah. I don't really know if Cox is all that bad. Should I really do a write-in name for Phil Lyman? Yes, you should. It's a long shot. I'm sorry. I don't think Phil Lyman's going to win either. There's too many morons in the state of Utah. Globalist morons, led by globalist institutions, some of them being ecclesiastical in nature. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. Undecided voters, morons. How in the world could you be undecided after watching the pro-Tifa rallies, the BLM rallies, the injustice being foisted upon this society year after year, the COVID scamdemic?
Are you guys going to stop with your anti-vaxxer talk now? Now that there's proof everywhere that they did incredible damage to a lot of people? Or are you going to keep going? Are you going to keep going? You guys are so stupid, so dumb. And don't give me the whole, well, we did the best we could. We didn't have enough information at the time. And blah, blah. Shut up. You guys shame people. And the greatest gift I got from COVID was learning who was cool and who was a rat, who sucked. That's it.
The economy, the price of milk, eggs, gas, taxes. Right now the leftists are proposing a tax on unrealized capital gains.
It devastates the real estate market. They're looking to add what's called a phantom capital gains tax on real estate. I buy a house today at $100,000. A year from now, the house is worth $120,000. I have to pay tax whether I sell the house or not,
No.
I have to pay tax on the $20,000 gain. Regardless of whether you realize it or you don't realize the gains, you're going to pay taxes. This is the proposal that they're putting out. The whole point of real estate and being wealthy and real estate gains is because all the benefits, tax benefits that you get. But once they remove that, who's going to dabble in real estate? Why would anyone? The plan here is just to make sure that there is no middle class or upper middle class left. I gotta be fucking honest with you, they're even going after the wealthy. So unless you're elitely wealthy, you're I'm part of that group. I feel like I'm being hunted. 100%.
In other words, if you have a home, it's worth $200,000, but it's now being evaluated at $350,000 because you were smart when you bought. On an annual basis, you will have to cough up the taxes for $150,000. It doesn't matter if you sold the property or not. This is one of the many things that is going to happen here in the United States. Let me turn this light on, by the way, so you can see my ugly face better. This is one of the things that's going to happen in the United States, and people will just go, how did this happen? It's because you, moron, supported politicians, corrupt politicians, globalism, that made this happen. When you find yourself an enemy of the state for not having registered a gun or two, and they finally find you out one way or another, and you're sitting there cooling your heels in jail looking at federal charges, you may ask, how did this happen? The answer is stupid people, most of them women. Interspersed in this video, I will interject without warning, without any introduction, certain clips, videos that support my conclusion. It's going to show stupid people in action.
Your name?
Savannah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Texas, but I live here now.
Can you name 5 countries in Europe?
Australia.
Okay. Correct.
That's all I got.
Most of them women. Girls, modern girls, complete morons. There's a dude in Instagram, I think he's on YouTube. He'll go and interview women and just ask simple questions. Some guys too. And there's plenty of stupid guys, don't get me wrong. And they can't even answer simple questions.
Good. If you get $1 every single day for an entire year, then how much money do you have at the end?
165.
Yes, that was too easy. What country did the Vietnam War happen in?
Canada.
Yes. Can you name 5 different states?
New York, New Jersey, Florida, Miami, and Nevada.
Simple questions about the United States. These are the people who are voting. These are the people who are easily manipulated, who are ruining and will completely ruin this country. Now, a lot of you guys call them NPCs, and that's a great term. I've always called them Who-ons because I think it's more descriptive. They're head-up-ass normies that do not pay attention, that live for pleasure, that are stupid, that are easily manipulated, that choose super impure informational sources. So I said I was going to define what an American is. Here we go. An American is anyone of any race that comes to this country and Americanizes. They have escaped this country, that country. Maybe their skin's dark. Maybe their skin's light tan. Maybe their skin is white. Nobody cares. Conservatives have never cared what your skin color is. They care about you, your character, and if you weaponize your race. And if you contribute to society. And if you contribute to the destruction of this country, more or less, which is exactly what's been happening by all this illegal immigration.
New report from the U.S. House Committee on Homeland Security majority. They say the price tag per year is $451 billion. That is both for the housing and care of the asylum seekers as well as...
You notice that the Democrats, the leftists, and a lot of globalist rhinos are trying to fast track their ability to vote. Why? To succeed in their goal of destroying America.
Did you vote?
Are you gonna vote? Oh, will you ask people that you know to vote, please? And will you ask them to vote for me? Thank you.
For years, super wise people like Alex Jones have been warning about globalism. People laughed at him. They scoffed at him in the early 2000s. They said, you're just some conspiracy nut. Turns out he's basically right on everything he said. That globalism seeks to take away Americanism, that seeks to take away American exceptionalism, our quality of life, our freedoms, underlying bold italic, and make us shitty like everybody else. One way to do that is import people from those places that are broken down, corrupt, highly polluted, by the way. Go look at their countries they're coming from. Do you see shining beacons of order? No. Do you see shining beacons of freedom? No. And yet they're coming here by the millions. And honestly, most of them, according to my imperfect information, and that's what it is, are not what I call Americanizing. So in years past, decades past, people would immigrate here legally, going through the process, and they sought citizenship as an American. It was a badge of honor. They wanted to be an American. And we all united in an American persona, in an American society. Again, skin color does not matter. What matters is we have a shared common belief system, a common goal, self-reliance, accountability, work ethic, freedoms, freedom to succeed. Not freedom to come here and get on the government rolls and do nothing and earn money, which the Democrats do. That's why it's so attractive to come to the United States now, because they're getting free money. They're getting free credit cards, free hotels, spending money. Money to put down on a house that a standard American does not get, especially if he or she is white. The American identity is highly at risk, and people like us, you and me, watching this video, we know this. That's because we are aware of truth. We are aware. We can discern truth. We bring truth into our life. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect. But overall, we can look at the horizon and see storm clouds building that are going to just drop this huge amount of freedom-destroying acid rain on our country. And it's coming. Nothing I say in this video is going to change anything. It's probably not going to change any minds. It won't change any vectors politically. It won't change the outcome of any political race, not the presidential race. I have very few viewers, especially for these philosophy videos. I mean, lately the philosophy videos, like no one's watching them. I'm like, cool, I'll do gear reviews. By the way, SIG P227 here in the warehouse today. Great gun. Watch my IS episode. It's fantastic. This gun is just outstanding. With plus P, it's amazing. Oh, by the way, stupid people don't think you should have this. If you were to take a poll of women voters right now, and the simple question was, do you think a person should be allowed to own an AR-15 with normal capacity magazines? That is a 30-round mag designed for the gun, semi-automatic sporting rifle. What do you think the result of that poll would be? And there's probably been polls conducted. I didn't look them up prior to this. I think you know. And the answer is they are highly in favor of gun confiscation, of imprisonment for violators. Women, they vote, especially young women who are mostly liberal, who are mostly indoctrinated through colleges.
Trump was recently shot at one of his rallies. How do you feel about that?
I wish he would have gotten shot in the forehead.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's basically like teaching our country like what communism is like, so.
So you wish death upon someone?
Him. Yeah, unfortunately, I hate to say that because I don't have hatred in my soul at all. But I think the way that our country has divided families, marriages, all of it about politics alone, like it all really started with him. So, I mean,
So do you think wishing someone death is not hateful?
I would say, yeah, absolutely. I would say, obviously, I don't wish death upon him. I wish that he would be in jail for like the insurrection, which he should be.
Okay. Yeah, but you just said you wish that he would get hit in the forehead.
Would have made things a little easier on our country, but actually really probably wouldn't, because the Proud Boys would come out and start probably shooting other people. So
The Proud Boys?
Yeah.
Do you think that like 60% of the country are the Proud Boys that support Trump?
No, I think a lot of it is wealthy people that only care about the finances, and there's a lot of ignorance, I think, in this country, and a lot of fake news and
stupid people. Now, I said stupid people was going to be the title, not stupid Americans, because I'm sorry, I don't classify these people as Americans. They do not believe in the American ideal that I just summarized for you. They believe the founding of this country is corrupt. It was done wrong. They think our founding fathers were a bunch of slave-owning racists that need to have all their statues torn down. By the way, they have done this with the support of all types of corrupt organizations, including ecclesiastical organizations, which I may talk about later. I don't think of them as Americans. They hate this country. Apparently, there's a Matt Walsh movie out. It's called I Am a Racist, or Am I a Racist? I haven't watched it. I've seen clips. It looks pretty interesting. I don't follow Matt Walsh. I'm not going to say that I agree with everything he does. I'm just saying this is a pretty good piece of ironic filmmaking showing how broken we are as a society. One of the leftist feminists in there said this entire system needs to be burnt to the ground. So that's the sentiment that you have from a lot of these idiots. They're not Americans. They don't subscribe to an American ideal. If they do, it's going to be a new America. And I've been talking about this ever since 2012 with the terms of King Obama. I warned folks to no avail. I said, hey, this is going to be the downside of our country. America is a sinking ship if we elect Obama. We did. Again. And I said this will have long-term, far-reaching consequences, which will be very hard, if not impossible, to turn around. Welcome to today. Welcome to now. It's turned out exactly as I feared it would. And we're going to come back a year from now on this video, and I have a feeling I'll be saying I told you so again. And I don't do that like, I told you so. I'm not saying it like that. I'm a realist, and I like for my audience members and visitors to live in reality, not fantasy. And the reality is, once again, we are in a cultural civil war. Thank heavens it has not gone hot. It might in the future. And if it does, it does. And I guess the good side of that, if it does, I don't want it, you don't want it. But the good side is there's enough people who are Americans that are willing to turn back the tide, the acidic effects of this progressivism, which again accelerates month by month, year by year. It's amazing how much they have gained in just the last 5 years. In the term of mentally gone, kaput, puppet Joe Biden, which incidentally, it is amazing that he's allowed to stay in office when everybody has recognized he is mentally incapable of serving. That alone shows you how stupid Americans are.
Can't speak, you can't walk. So let's just drop the gloves and be real for a moment, okay? I find you disgraceful. You are a corrupt, lying, farcical shell of a human being. You sold out our national security to enrich yourself and your family. Your son is a tragic disgrace. And isn't it sad that some of us actually feel sorry for the guy? Because all he probably ever really wanted was for you to love him. But you love something else more. you and this entire made-up story surrounding you.
That Americans wouldn't rise up and go, hey, wait a second. We've acknowledged that this guy has huge dementia, that he is not mentally capable of running for re-election, much less running the country now, and yet we're going to let him stay in office. Unreal. That Americans wouldn't just rise up and say, get that guy out, put him in an institution, give him the treatment he needs, and he does need treatment. Oh no. The cabal, the communist star chamber has chosen that he will stay in power, and he has. Have you seen any movements using the 25th Amendment to take Joe Biden out of office? Why is that? Here's why. Because there's so many stupid people.
Do you know what two countries border the USA?
No.
Like what's on top of us and what's below us?
Isn't the North Pole below us?
Yeah. And what else?
And what is above us? Is it Europe? Because
Is that your guess?
yes, that's my guess.
Yes.
8 times 6.
8 times 6.
Yes, ma'am. 8 times 6, Miss Liz. Huh?
8 times 6,
92?
92?
I'm lit.
Liz.
Nah, don't use that as an excuse.
Liz. 3 times 7.
21.
21, that's great.
21?
7 times 3. Okay, we can't do it. 8 times 5. 8 times 5, honey. 8 times 5? Huh? I want you to know this so bad. No, not 8 times. 8 times 5, sweetheart. 40. There we go.
They don't care. They don't even know. They don't even know what the capital of the United States is, and they don't care. They can't do simple multiplication. Morons.
You know who the first president of the USA was?
George Floyd.
There's some in your neighborhood right now. You know who they are. You see this hat? You see that flag upside down on the hat? That, my friend, is how you should be flying your American flag right now. On your vehicles, American flag upside down. You have a flagpole in your yard, American flag upside down. Oh, but wait, that would put me on the radar. You know, I don't want that type of attention in the neighborhood. I don't want people to think I'm one of these whack job MAGA guys. You, my friend, are a coward. You think you're going to be of any use if a MCW kicks off? If you're not willing to peacefully protest with a freaking flag, you're part of the problem. I know this guy, and he's a nice person. He has a good family. He has good morals. He's a religious person. His name's Brian. Okay? And we're talking about this, and I always give him grief because he acts like he's a conservative. Like, I'll rant with him a little bit about some of these things, and he'll kind of agree with them. He goes, yeah, I really. I was like, well, where's your flags? How come you're not flying any flags? How come I'm the only one here flying flags? He's like, well, you know, I can't really do it. Yeah, because then I'd offend so-and-so. And I'm like, you're a coward. Then he started, I talked about the schools now, and I'm going to hit this too. This is going to be feature length because I'm on a roll, bro. No apologies. I got to set this light up and I'll be talking with you. He was talking about his school and the leftist ideologies being promoted at his school. And again, I asked him, I said, hey, Brian, are you pushing back against that? Are you going to, you know, the PTA meetings and pushing back against this multiplicity of genders crap? And he goes, well, I would, but I'm really I'm worried again that if I do so, sorry, I'm plugging this light in. If I do so, then my kids will be punished, that they'll be attacked. And I'm like, dude, you really are, this is not coming on for whatever reason, you really are a good example of a who-on, of a coward person, very cowardly, that you're not willing to stand up for whatever reason. Nutnfancy, just go. The lighting is fine. Don't even worry about it. Oh, it's bugging me, dude. Freaking light. Oh, I know what happened. It fell over and the bulb broke, I bet. There you go. Become a donor. I need that. That light is ruined. Yep, it fell over. Yeah, you're just going to have to deal with one light. I told him, I was like, so you don't go to a school board meeting. You don't protest against the clown agenda in schools. This is in Utah, by the way. And Utah is lost. It's a blue state. It's not a red state. It pretends to be a red state. It's not. Much leftism in Utah, especially in the schools. All the things you can imagine. Critical race theory, anti-whiteism, the illegitimate founding of this country. All those are pushed down kids' throats. And good parents will go and rail on the school boards.
I would thank you all for allowing me to speak to you tonight, but you tried not to allow it, yet here I am. Now, you only give us 60 seconds, so let me get to the point. You are all child abusers. You prey upon impressionable children and indoctrinate them into your insane ideological cult, a cult which holds many fanatical views, but none so deranged as the idea that boys are girls and girls are boys. By imposing this vile nonsense on students to the point even of forcing young girls to share locker rooms with boys, you deprive these kids of safety and privacy and something more fundamental too, which is truth. If education is not grounded in truth, then it is worthless. Worse, it is poison. You are poison. You are predators. I can see why you try to stop us from speaking. You know that your ideas are indefensible. You silence the opposing side because you have no argument. You can only hide under your beds like pathetic little gutless cowards hoping we shut up and go away. But we won't. I promise you that. Thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon.
Now, I'm an advocate of taking your children out and homeschooling. There's no way I would put my children in a public school anywhere. I'm being serious. I would not do it. I don't recommend you do it. But he's in a public school. And so I called him out on it. I was like, hey, listen, you should be homeschooling. He goes, well, I like him to have socialization and stuff. And it's a lot of work. I'm like, yeah, well, don't have children then. Having children is a lot of work. And if you're not ready, don't have them. But he's a coward. He's afraid to go in the school board because his children may be targeted. A perfect example of a stupid American. Is American still a shining beacon that attracts people? I think people who are aware overseas and see America for what it is, I say the answer is no. They can see our DEI, our wokeism, our broken institutions, our dirty streets and cities, garbage everywhere, homeless everywhere. I don't think it is what it used to be. I think a lot of people, illegal immigrants especially, want to come to America because they can get a free ride. And the current forces, both corporate, some ecclesiastical, some governmental, are purely in support of that. Bringing these people in, don't have any expectations placed on them. Here's your free EBT card. Enjoy, welcome. By the way, here's your voter registration too. Make sure you vote Democrat. So I would say American as a shining beacon is pretty much done. If I'm going to be honest, I'll say that. Yeah, the planned importation of globalists is happening right now. It's happened. In fact, it's so far along right now, I don't know how you could turn it around. And don't look to one man to solve it. I mean, I'm a Trump convert, big fan of him, just what he's done. I'll take all his imperfections, the things he says that aren't exactly right because he's not a politician. He's like me. He just doesn't give a shit, really. I'll take him, but we need 1,000 Trumps.
Name one specific thing Joe Biden has done for black people. I literally put out a challenge when somebody asked me this question. I said, I'll give you $10,000 cash right now. Name me the tenets of the Build Back Better plan. Go. You can't unless you Google it. And by the way, Joe Biden's plan for Black America is right now, if you put it on your phone, it is gone from his website. You asked for that. Cardi B got on a live and talked about, I can't believe how much groceries cost. You told everybody to vote for him. You the dumbass cluck who did it, Cardi, and I'm standing on that. Right? The other part of that is y'all vote your emotions. You do not vote your interests. You never think about your finances. You don't think about anything but who you fucking Friday night, and that's exactly why you're in the position you're in. Then you got mad at Bill Cosby for telling y'all need to do more than stand in line for Jordans, and y'all need to pull your pants up and be a little bit more respectable. There should be balance in all things. Y'all got mad at him for that.
We don't need just one. And as I'm filming this, they just attempted to kill him again. As I predicted here, probably in the warehouse, I said, yeah, they're going to try again and again. There's going to be another attempt, and it may be successful. There is a secret organization, highly powerful, woven through the fabric of this now corrupt nation that wants Trump gone. And if it means killing Trump, they're all for it. Supplying weapons, information, resources to get this done, I don't know. Can't say, but allegedly there's a lot of evidence that says yes. You're not going to get a good investigation of it because this country's too corrupt. All the alphabet agencies, corrupt. Well, I shouldn't say all of them, but most of them. But I digress. Stupid people. I almost said Americans.
How many stars are on the U.S. flag?
Like 15? How many?
How many stars are on the United States of America flag?
25?
Yes. Do you know what country was formerly known as the USSR?
The USSR? Is it USA?
Do you know what continents we're on?
America. The United States of America.
Yes.
Stupid people. It's why this country is going to get freaking ruined. It's why I will become public enemy number one for even espousing this. Because if you push back against this globalism, if you have the gall to say that America was exceptional and we want to go back to those days, you're a racist, you're a Nazi, you need to be canceled. We're coming after you. At the very least, we're going to put you in a concentration camp. And guys used to say, oh, Nutnfancy, hyperbole. They're not going to do that. That was like 5 years ago when I started saying that. And now those people are going, judging from what they've said, yeah, I can see that. They wouldn't call it a concentration camp. They call it I don't know, what the Nazis call it, like the re-education camp, something like that. How do we end up to this place in our country? I haven't even started the body of this video. Can you freaking believe it? I haven't even started. I guarantee you it'll be entertaining. I guarantee you will find much truth here. I might make a mistake here and there. I don't really care. How do we end up here? How do we end up with so many stupid, idiotic, easily deceived, manipulatable people in the United States? It did not used to be this way. Let me see. Should I cover that one? I don't know how many points. 6 or 7, depends on when I get tired of talking. Of reasons why we're here.
Do you know what two countries border the USA?
No.
Like what's on top of us and what's below us?
Isn't the North Pole below us?
Yeah. And what else?
And what is above us? Is it Europe? Because
Is that your guess?
yes, that's my guess.
Yes.
Let's get to it. Number one, I think the main reason we are here now at this juncture in American society where the Constitution is being seriously threatened is because the traditional man-woman American family has to a large extent been destroyed. I've talked about this before. I talked about it in Sad Angry Men video, which is posted on the B channel. Go watch that. I think I posted it in YouTube. Subscribe to my feed in YouTube and also on Rumble. Subscribe to all 3 feeds. They're all below. Rumble, YouTube. I'm here as long as I can be until they kick me out, and YouTube. Yes, I'm trying to post in Rumble every week. Sometimes I forget. I don't make a dime in Rumble. It doesn't help me at all. But guys seem to like it, the very few TMPers who are there. Which is funny. I hear, oh, go to Rumble, go to Rumble. What do I have? Like 1.4 million people tune into my YouTube feeds. And I have like view numbers in Rumble. It's like 1,200 views. Wow. And I've told the Rumble audience, I was like, hey, man, unless this changes, why bother? Families, the destruction of the family is the main reason we're here. And the main reason the family has been destroyed is the man has been destroyed. I'm not talking about literally like killed, but I'm talking that he's been taken out of the family equation. That for decades we've been watching pop culture, news, all types of media, force feeding the American society that men are evil, they're bad. They are the reason that all bad things exist in this world. Well, not world. We're focusing on the United States, which is a complete lie, fabrication. But if that lie is repeated often and loud enough, these stupid people believe it. A lot of men have just checked out. They've left their families. There's a lot of single women raising families, not because of men's fault, but because of the women. Their promiscuity. They're basically whores sleeping around, giving these people who they sleep around with children out of wedlock. That is rampant. That is a huge reason why there's so many stupid people. Let's go back to my upbringing to make my point. So the family, right? That moms are great. And I acknowledge the influence of good mothers in the house. So you saw Mrs. Nutnfancy, awesome mother, very grounded, taught the boys some really great things, continues to do so. But there's nothing like sitting around and listening to your father rant. It's instructive to listen to your dad rant about society, what's going on, be careful of this, be careful of that, and revealing the ploys of the evil. That is what a good father does. That's what my dad did with me. That's one reason my head's screwed on straight. Because when my dad started ranting, I brought out the notepad and I was taking notes. Yeah, Dad, keep going. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's going to happen? Whoa, holy shit. Okay, yeah, okay. Take notes. I did. It became part of my character, my way of thinking from my father who was ranting about politics. One of his favorite books was by Cleon Skousen, The Naked Communist. He wrote another great book later called The Naked Socialist, and it revealed the ploys that we see in play right now. My dad predicted all this. He goes, you're going to see in your day all this come to fruition. You're going to see that Russia or USSR at the time does not have to come over here and overtake us. It will fall like a rotten apple into their hands because of the internal corruption of the United States. We're going to destroy, what's that one dude's name? I'll try to think of him. The KGB dude. I'll put an annotation here and I'll think of his name. But it's just going to go naturally as we corrupt the American institutions of education, entertainment, family, and we just change the way traditional Americans think of themselves. And in doing so, we destroy the family as a unit. The main reason we have so many stupid people is because we have so few strong, integral, traditional man-woman families.
Can you please tell me what country this is?
Okay. Oh, that's Asia, right? Yes, sir. It was a break.
I don't even know what to say. Do you know what country this is?
It's not a country.
What country is this?
No.
Do they have to be man, woman, Nutnfancy? Come on now. Shouldn't it be man, man? No. How about woman, woman? No. That's part of the problem. No. No, 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 no. Traditional, just like God intended. Show me in the Bible where it says that a man and man family is okay. Show me. How about two women? Not in there. That's progressivism. That's a perversion of American society. That alone will be enough to infuriate people. How dare you be so closed-minded? These are the stupid people I'm talking about. A family unit, if it's functioning properly, I'm talking a traditional family unit, teaches the work ethic, and it teaches accountability, and it teaches logical, critical thinking, all of which are in very short supply in the United States right now. Critical thinking, to be able to just on your own, using your own brain power, determine if what you are seeing, if what you are hearing is true. Dads teach that. Moms teach that too. Dads really teach it. And they use little microcosms for growth in their children, in their daughters, in their sons. Good dads will teach them. They'll teach them mechanical things, the ability to withstand uncomfortable situations, the ability to, again, work and to be accountable, not make excuses, and not blame your failures on others, which is rampant in this victimhood society.
And so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. So you maybe have to, they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry that night.
Well, hi there. AOC is an idiot, and you shouldn't take anything she says at face value. She lays down the groundwork that if somebody has kids and they can't afford to feed them, why are you having children if you can't afford to feed them? Number two, have you noticed in the past 10 years of all these riots and vandalisms that these thugs, color's not a prerequisite for being a thug, these thugs aren't stealing bread, they're not stealing food, they're stealing non-essentials. If you're a thug listening to this, I don't care what color you are, get over your daddy issues and get a job. I'm a bastard child too, and I've never stole a thing in my life. I've worked since I was a teenager. For anybody who believes that the majority of blacks are like this, I beg to differ. If the majority of blacks, which make up like a third of the country, were thugs, this entire country would be on fire. No, the majority of blacks are like me. We work hard, we mind our business, and we like being left alone. Restore common sense and accountability. Stop justifying absurdity.
Again, that's an outgrowth of all the stupid people. A stupid person wants to blame others for his or her failings. It's not my fault that I failed. It's because the world's against me. It's because of these white folk, the white privilege. That's why I fail. And on we hear these satanic lies. Yeah, I said satanic. No apology. That's the father of all lies. Really, at this point, you need to determine if you're really for truth, if you have not done so in your life already. Are you for truth, even if it's uncomfortable to hear? Are you? Raise your hand if you are. I am. We should all be seekers of truth. That is not approved in today's stupid society. You are to believe the ever-changing narrative, the ever-changing message delivered to you by your oligarchs. And if you push back on that message, even though it's different than it was last year, you're like, wait a second, you guys are saying something completely different 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and now you're telling me I have to think this way. You're public enemy number one. You're not a stupid person, and you are a threat. And by the way, let me underscore that too, that people who think independently, who are masculine like you and I, we're a threat to this oligarchy. We're a threat to the progressivism, which is being foisted upon us. That's why they try to cancel us, destroy us, shut us up. You have people going to jail now in the United Kingdom, also in California, for social media posts that go against the message. So how's that First Amendment looking here in the United States? How's it going to look in the future with all these stupid people? And these stupid people go, yeah, it's about time we started throwing people in jail who are saying incorrect things. See, that's why I don't call them Americans, because an American would never say that. An American would say this. They go, you know what? Whatever political opinion was espoused, I don't agree with it, but it's his or her right to say so. We have something called the First Amendment. I fully support it. That is specifically why we need the First Amendment, so people can speak up, whether it's on a social media platform, personally, personally, they put a freaking barrel in the middle of the street and start preaching. It's up to them. They're free to do it. I'm not in favor of canceling voices I don't agree with. I like, yeah, they're morons. I don't agree with anything she's saying. Total idiot, but she's free to say it.
It's kind of interesting that America is built on this idea of freedom. The Western world's built on this idea of freedom where most other nations aren't. Other nations are built on the idea of God or the idea of patriotism. We've lost that, and we're saying you don't have to believe in God or any type of God. You don't have to even be patriotic. You can hate this place, but you're free to do whatever. And that's a very interesting scam, because to try and hold a scam like that up, how do you make people feel free when they're not allowed to say the things that you don't want them to say? The only way you can do that is by allowing them to be free to do stupid shit. So you say, we're based on freedom. We don't want them to realize they can't say anything important. So to keep the lie of freedom alive, let's tell them they can change genders. Because you can't do that in most other places. So what they do is they push insanity and say, you're free to be an idiot. And they push that so they can keep the freedom scam alive. Because you're free to be an idiot, but you're not free to be smart. You're not free to understand how it works. You're not free to tell the truth. You're not free to try and protect your family. You're not free to try and have your own land and your own family and do the right thing. You're not free to do any of that. You're only free to do the dumb shit that they don't see as a threat, so they can keep their freedom scam alive.
Because if she's not free to say it, then I'm not free to say this. See how it works? That's how an American thinks. But a stupid person, let's call them residents. I don't want to use that word because they don't even deserve residency. Just stupid people. Stupid people in this country. We'll just stick with that. They're all for it. They're all for a central, overly powerful, unquestioned, with no oversight, political structure to punish people that will make their lives uncomfortable, that will deliver truth. I'll give you an example. So let's say we have a family of illegal immigrants come here from Syria. I just chose that for no reason. 5 people in that family. They get on public assistance immediately. Maybe they get housing, maybe they don't. Let's say they don't get jobs because they're getting free money, so there's really no impetus to go out and work in the economy and make a contribution to the society, which needs a lot of infrastructure to be maintained. They don't give a shit. They're getting free money from you and I. So if someone posts something about, hey, these Syrian immigrants are coming here, they're not working, they're a drag on society, they need to contribute, and then that family gets all pissed off. Again, they're not Americanizing, they're just bringing their Syrian culture here. And again, I'm not picking on Syria, I'm just using it as an example. And they go, well, that pisses me off, I don't like it. By the way, has my EBT card been filled up this month? No, it hasn't. Okay, anyways. They're going to be in favor of any political structure that silences the opposition. They don't care about freedoms. They don't care about the Constitution. All they care about is a free ride and being comfortable and having someone else foot the bill. And that's going on, not just in the United States, it's going on in France, Sweden, I think Norway, basically all the Western societies are having the same problem because of this immigration issue. And it's really not debatable. You can say, oh, no, they're contributing. Some are, and some are great. Most aren't. In the families, we learn accountability. I said that. We learned work ethic, and we also learn, contrary to what these people are receiving, free assistance, not to be lazy. A good dad would teach his sons, hey, you need to pull your weight. I've taught my sons that. You need to be self-sufficient. No one is in charge of putting food in your mouth except you. The Constitution doesn't say, hey, you're going to get a free ride. You don't have to have, any work ethic. You can just sit on your ass, play video games, make babies, shit, eat. And that's all you need to do. The Constitution doesn't say that. It says, hey, we're going to provide a free not organization, but a free society where you can either succeed or you can fail. But now we have the all-knowing, stupid person phrase equity, which basically means stealing resources from the productive and giving it to the non-productive. That's what equity really means. So equal opportunity is no longer acceptable. Remember I talked about the ever-changing doctrine, the ever-changing message? So years ago, equal opportunity was great. Now it's no longer good because it doesn't allow them to seize your assets and give it to someone else. And that's what they're doing. They're going to seize your assets, seize your property, your money, your bank accounts, your 401k, seize all your assets and give it to their political allies and punish you in the process. The family has been mostly destroyed, I'm saying, because we have ransacked masculinity, and they continue to do so in pop culture, movies, CPF, where all they show is a very effeminate beta male who is a joke. Most of the males, especially if they're white, like I always say, and this is just truth, they're shown to be complete morons, needing the rescue usually from a woman. The family has been destroyed. There are good families still left. Percentage-wise, if I were to hazard a guess, I would say right around 50%. 50% of this country still has a good family structure, and they understand what I'm saying. They'd be nodding up and down going, yep, that's exactly right. Yep, Dad had a rant session last Sunday night. I took notes. It was great. And some kids at the time, when they listen to Dad's rants, they go, it's not great. Dad, please shut up. But as they get older, they get more wisdom, especially if when they start making their own money, they get their own resources, they find out about taxes, they find out about the cost of living, they find about how punitive a government is to its productive working citizens. They go, you know what? Dad was right. Moving on, why are there so many stupid people in this country?
Are you smart?
No.
How old are you?
15.
How old would you be if you were born 7 years ago?
22.
You'd be 22?
Yeah.
If you were born 7 years ago, you'd be 22?
Wait. 4? 3? So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Why are you counting?
8. 8.
You'd be 8?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Yo, let's do it. Yo! Oh my God! What the fuck?
Number 2, lack of morality. There's no rudder to their ship. Christianity is mocked. Jesus is mocked. God is mocked in today's society. You want to be popular in Hollywood? Mock God. There have been some athletes, NFL players, MMA dudes that have been interviewed post-fight, post-game, and they're asking, hey, man, that was a really good fight. That was a really good game. What's your secret? And a lot of these men, grounded in Christ, said, it is my Savior, the Lord Savior, Jesus Christ, who I want to thank for giving me this opportunity, for giving me this ability, on and on. And you know what? The media edit that out. They edit Christ out of our society, not just in those interviews, everywhere. And that is satanic, my friends. And the ultimate aim of that is to make people directionless, if I said that right, without a rudder. If I have a sailboat on a lake and it does not have a keel, and let's say I don't have a rudder either, where's that ship going to go? Right, it's going to go with the prevailing wind. Welcome to the majority, and I said majority of the people in this country.
Who's the current vice president?
Kamala Harris. I love her.
Why?
Because she's black.
That they are blown by the political winds, especially if they can garner popularity, more likes, more followers by following the prevailing political winds. And there are millions of people like this. Hey, if I just subscribe to this, anti-whiteism, DEI, multiplicity of genders, and my content reflects that, I'm going to get likes. And more importantly, the tech institutions like YouTube, Google, ABC, FaceTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the algorithm's going to promote me. I'll get popular. I'll get likes. I'll get fame. Don't the scriptures tell us not to fear man, but to fear God? Is that happening widespread now in our society? Would you think?
One of the reasons that I don't like progressive Christianity is because it tries to take the things of the world, the religion of the world, which is religion of self. Okay? Make no mistake. That's a religion. All right? The religion of the world, the ideologies of the world, and somehow marry it to Christianity. Unfortunately, Jesus Christ said, you aren't of the world. Don't try to be like the world. You're not going to look like the world. If anything, you're going to continuously look less and less and less like the world. But progressive Christianity says, let's look more and more and more like the world so that the world likes us more and more. They don't acknowledge that Christianity and worldviews are oil and water.
They're fearing man. They're seeking the approval of man. Do I? No. I've said that many, many times, pretty much in every philosophy video. I'm worried about my God. That when I go to the other side and I do a reporting, an accounting of my life, I want my Heavenly Father to say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. I know he'll say also, you made a lot of mistakes, dude. Seriously. I know he'll say that. I'm imperfect. But through the grace of Christ, I can be forgiven. So can you. That's what I want. We should have our focus on God. And maybe some of you listening to this video say, hey, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in Jesus Christ. And to that I say, good luck with your value system. And a lot of good people feel that way. I'm not saying they're evil. There's a lot of good people who are atheists. I know them personally. And they just like, I believe in it, but I don't go there. I don't support that belief system, which is basically no belief system. It makes me interested in what comprises your value system. What is it? Just ethics, the study of ethics, philosophers of old. There's an attack on righteousness. There's an attack on Christianity. One reason we have so many stupid people in this country is because it has been largely successful. That if a man, if a woman has the Spirit of Christ to whatever degree within their soul, they will know good and evil, and they will seek truth. They will seek goodness, and they will evaluate things in terms of Christ. Does that promote good? Does it promote things that are of Christ or of God? Or is it in opposition to those qualities? A lot of people like that. It's in opposition to those qualities. They're like, well, heck, I can't believe that. It's unpopular to say the word Christ anymore. There's a point in a person's life if they continually choose ignorance, if they continually choose untruth, which will turn and devolve into wickedness, that the Spirit of Christ will cease to influence the life of that man, that individual will cease to be able to discern truth. I bet you know people like this. I bet you, and I bet you know a lot. Probably at work, some of your own friends, some of your own family members. They are unable to discern truth and to acknowledge truth. They do not want to hear it.
Truth has become a right-wing concept. You cannot say it, because if you say it, you are considered right-wing. And to be right-wing is to be in league with the forces of evil. Education was turned from being the transmission of a culture down through the generations into the overturning of a culture on the basis that the culture was illegitimate, racist, colonialist, and all the rest of it. And we are where we are.
So knowledge and wisdom are increasingly unacquainted.
That's what's so frustrating to some people who really don't know what's going on. I'm talking conservatives, constitutional conservatives. They'll waste time saying, well, the facts are on our side. Logic is on our side. I can sit here and spew all these facts and logic of why taxation is bad, how it results in less jobs. I can spew all these facts and figures, why gun control is failing. The dude that attempted the last assassination attempt on President Donald Trump, he was a felon. He should not have had that SKS. So how did gun laws work in that situation? They didn't. He got a gun, semi-automatic rifle, 7.6239, attempted an assassination. He shouldn't have that gun. There are a ton of gun laws that he already broke. But you can explain all this and it will be rejected.
Would want my listeners to understand that sensitivity is not the highest value in an intellectual community, but truth is, and sometimes it can only be gotten to by saying things that some people don't want to hear.
That's because the people are stupid. And the reason they're stupid is they have chose, and I'll short circuit it. I'm not going to say it's always the case, but they've chose evil so many times that the Spirit of Christ has ceased to function in that person's life. And they become lost. They're that sailboat without a keel, without a rudder. They're just drifting. They don't know. They're just being blown. A lot of people will call it like the Trump right now, and this will change. It'll morph over time. They call it the Trump derangement syndrome. It's really not that.
Are you or your loved ones suffering from illnesses such as TDS, also known as Trump derangement syndrome? Do you dismiss or deny the current issues facing our country, such as historic inflation, illegal immigration, corporate corruption, World War III escalations, and the chronic disease epidemic? Are you willing to elect someone who was the least popular vice president in modern history, and who offers no policy or vision for America simply because your brain keeps telling you anyone but Trump? If so, you might be struggling from TDS. Introducing independence. Independence allows you the freedom to finally think independently once again. Instead of believing everything you hear from the mainstream media, independence allows for constructive critical thinking.
I used to hear people on the news say things like,
Donald Trump and the movement he has encouraged are a threat to democracy.
And I instantly believed it. With independence, I now realize the media is run by the Democrat elite, who are a corrupt oligarchy that censors free speech, silences political opponents, supports forever wars, and abandons democracy by anointing its candidates.
Independence may not be for everyone. If you enjoy being lied to about your president's cognitive abilities, support Orwellian totalitarianism, or are excited about communist fiscal policy, independence may not be right for you. Common side effects of independence may include an awakening of rational thought, successfully identifying propaganda, freedom of choice, loss of hatred, anti-narcissistic behavior, and love of democracy.
I used to blindly hate whoever my party was running against. I didn't care about facts or policy because I was hopelessly indoctrinated. With independence, I'm much more interested in policies that uphold democracy, and I truly care about the health of our country and its citizens.
Ask your doctor if independence is right for you, and enjoy your freedoms once again.
It is basically a truth derangement syndrome, that they don't want to hear truth. They do not want to hear it because it impugns them. It shames them. It makes them feel inadequate because they know they're living a lie. Truth has a way to cut to a person's core. And it's just like the example I talked about in my interview with awesome Phil Lyman, governor candidate. I sure hope he wins. Write-in candidate in Utah. Please write him in, Phil Lyman. Awesome dude. But I gave him an example like, hey, when the B-17s were over the wrong target, they were not getting flak. And the navigator of the lead aircraft goes, why are we not getting flak? I mean, he looks at his map and goes, oh shit, we're in the wrong place. You're not going to get flak if you're not over the target. You're not going to get pushback unless you're dispensing truth. And the amount of persecution, personal attacks, sometimes physical attacks on people who are dispensing truth is astounding. And the stupid people of the United States applaud this. They love it. They love it when Tucker Carlson gets threatened, gets taken down, gets shouted out, gets canceled. They love it. They eat it up. I shouldn't say there's no morality, but it's not predominant in the United States anymore like it used to be. We used to be a moral country. We used to be moral in our ways of evaluating things, evaluating politicians. We were imperfect all along. I'm not saying we were perfect, but now we're in clown world. And I'm saying that the basis of this is Christianity. Strong Jesus Christ basis of Christianity is how we are to truly solve this. Is it going to happen anytime soon? No, probably not until everything crumbles, destroys, without rule of law, Armageddon, and Christ comes again, and then he resets it. Then people understand. Every knee will bow. Everyone will acknowledge that Jesus is the Christ. I guarantee this. Work to repair the morality, and you'll work to save this nation from stupid people. It's really easy to be misled and to gobble up untruth and make it your own personal reality if you don't have a moral compass. A lot of these raging leftists you've seen on camera, I'm not going to roll them in. I don't think. It depends on what videos I roll in here. They come from broken homes, going back to my first point, broken families, no father figure, and a life of untruth. And what's going to happen is, since they don't have a personal identity, they don't have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, God the Father, they will suffer accordingly. And sooner or later, probably sooner in their life, they're going to realize, oh my gosh, I was led down this incorrect path. I let go of the rod of iron of truth, and now I'm paying the price. And it might be too late for them to come back because of what they've done to themselves. Some of them having lopped off parts of their bodies to become the other gender, for instance. Moving on. Why are there so many stupid Americans? We talked about the collapse of the traditional family, the lack of morality in this country. Here's another one, welfare. And I touched on this already with the illegals coming over, they're getting free money, and that is happening. And it has woken up a lot of people. A lot of people who were not previously what I consider conservatives now are conservatives of all colors. Black folks, Latino folks, white folks, Oriental folks. They don't like this is going on because they had to come here and they had to toil, work, sacrifice. And by the way, the definition of sacrifice is giving up something good for something better. And they've developed this good life for themselves through this work ethic. And now they see all these freeloaders coming in, getting benefits they never got. Yeah, it pisses people off. Welfare has a way of making stupid people. That would seem obvious, right? You'd go, yeah, that makes sense.
I just went to the grocery store and I ended up having to pay $50 out of pocket. I had to call the food stamp people and tell them that they're not giving me enough money. $500 is not enough. They have to go up. They need to give me at least $1,000 because the cost of food has went up. The cost of groceries has went up.
So has is a redundant verb in that sentence. You ain't supposed to go back to back with verbs like that. That ain't proper sentence structure.
She's complaining about the fact that she even had to dip into her own money at all. Do you know everybody else is 100% out of pocket? We just eat the food that we actually buy. The government is not your baby daddy. Where is the baby daddy, by the way? Do you think that's the type of person who's looking to get off food stamps?
Yeah, this is just temporary until I get my job as a doctor.
Do you think this person has any sort of shame or guilt about how they're abusing the food stamp system? It's like, no, they're calling and asking for more money because they had to dip into their own pocket one time.
Does it have to be that way? So if you're on welfare, whatever reason, are you automatically stupid? Probably not. I mean, there's people that were transitory through the welfare system and they didn't like it. They got themselves off it. They were raised by a dad that says, hey, don't be a freeloader. They got jobs and they pulled themselves out of it. How often does that go on now, though? Welfare has become a way of life for millions upon millions of people in the United States. And I ask you, if you were to ask these welfare recipients, is this country proper as founded? What would be their response? If you were to ask these welfare recipients, should a person own an AR-15? What would be their response? If you ask a welfare recipient, should we continue government handouts to people who have no accountability for said funds, which by the way is now the case. So they used to have a stipulation, they have to go work. They have to show that they've been searching for work. I think most of those requirements are gone. What do you think their answers would be? That's correct. They'd say, no, just keep it as is. And we'll vote for whoever keeps giving us free money. Democrats.
I've been listening to that horse shit of yours for months. And you can take that crap and blow it out your ass. And for good measure, sit on this.
We need to bring back shame and we need to bring it back immediately. Once upon a year, a person who was on welfare was given food stamps. And they would have to go through the checkout register long before there was self-checkout. They'd have to produce said food stamps in front of usually people in the line. And there was some shame attached to that they realized, oh my gosh, this person is a food stamp person. I'm not saying that people would like, oh, look at what a loser is. People weren't doing that, but they probably would look sideways if the guy has like shrimp in his checkout, alcohol in his checkout. In other words, non-staple foods, eggs, milk, cereal, baby formula. Guys are like, yeah, that's fine. But what did they do? Well, they wanted to take away the shame of the welfare experience, and so they gave them, and they still give them an EBT card. It's basically a credit card that the government, you and I, our money, funds. month to month. That way they can go through the checkout line and it looks like they're a normal person and they can disguise all their purchases. There was a Insta reel out recently. Someone saw a receipt of an EBT card. They left it. It was a base cashier, and they had like a $13,000 balance on their EBT card. Just free money. Stupid people. Welfare makes stupid people because you're not accountable for anything, really. You're not accountable for bad decisions. You're not really accountable to the political system. In fact, you're actually for the destruction of the United States because you're going to keep in power the very entity which is destroying this country, the Democrats. High taxes, bad economy, imprisonment of conservatives, Democrats. They're going to continue to vote for that. Stupid people. All they want in return is their free food, their EBT card to be charged every month. With no shame. There's no shame. In fact, a lot of these individuals are on social media and they are more than happy to brag about being a welfare recipient. They're more than happy to go into a store, grab things for free, eat them off the shelf for free without paying. Someone's paying for that. They're like, it's not me. I don't care who pays for it. I don't care. They're cocky freeloaders. We have produced a generation of cocky freeloaders that they're not trying to hide it. They're not ashamed that they don't work. They are just angry at anyone that would dare reduce and not increase their monthly payments. And they don't give a shit where the money comes from. They don't care if socialism results, communism results. They do not care. It's stupid people. They are slothful. They sit and they play video games. They surf on their iPhone 13, 14, 15, 16, whatever, provided by the government, by the way. You and I pay that monthly bill. They don't work. They have no intention of working, no intention of contributing to the infrastructure of the United States. Stupid people. How long can this go on? How long before society collapses when you have all these non-producers, cocky non-producers? Atlas Shrugged. Go read that book. There's an answer for you. That's about how long it's going to go on. And these people, since you're on an EBT card or whatever other style of government assistance, I'm just concentrating on that, state assistance too, there's no punishment for failure because they're not working. They're not putting themselves out there. They're not risking anything. And so these morons are morons. All they care again about is free resources. Versus a person who goes out there and gets a job. He has to show up on time. He has to be productive at that job. He's accountable to his boss for being productive, for contributing to the work organization. There's a punishment for failure. And since he's out there working, toiling, bleeding, putting in a 60-hour work week, he's kind of aware of people who try to steal things from him, his money, because it was so hard for him to get. He understands that. Taxes are a big thing to him because it's like, dude, I worked my ass off for that. Yeah, I bought that car, but you know how hard I had to work for it? Yeah, I bought this boat. Do you know how hard I had to work for that? That trailer, how hard I had to work for that? All truth, by the way. Very hard. But the government gives them a narrative of, hey, the only reason people have more than you is because of inequity, because of racism, because of white privilege. We're going to take care of that for you. And don't worry, we're just going to give money to you every month, but just go along with our program, whatever it is. Stupid people. And they go along with the program. They have no problem with it. It doesn't matter if it involves punishing and even imprisoning the producers of this country. Again, how long will that continue before all hell breaks loose? For a while, there is some gas in the gas tank, but when Haktua Harris wins, you better watch out. We're beyond the turning point then, boys. We are beyond the turning point. Right now, I would say the U.S. as a sinking ship is about half afloat. We don't have water coming over the decks yet, but we're about half afloat. Number 5, why are there so many stupid people in this country? I know a lot of you guys, you may have typed this already. Watch the video from start to finish. That's what I say. I kindly ask that. Dude, we're over an hour. Awesome. Propaganda bombardment. But you were probably typing social media, and there's truth what you were typing. Yes. Yes, especially women. Again, women should not vote. They should not be part of the political process. I will stand by that. There's a reason our forefathers did not allow women to vote. Because they're emotional. You heard Mrs. Nutnfancy at the beginning. They're emotional. They do not know how to slow down. There's some great women out there. Millions of them. I acknowledge that. But for every one Mrs. Nutnfancy who is politically aware, who's logical, who can discern the truth and embrace the truth, there's 100 flaming libtards, left-wing moonbats that are all out there just acting crazy, saying stupid things, supporting stupid politicians. There's people out there right now saying, oh, I want Kamala just because she's a woman. Well, what's her policies?
Why is no one discussing the economy here? Job numbers are dismal. Unemployment is up. Are we in a recession? Why is no one discussing the economy? You don't raise taxes on anyone in this kind of economy. And Feds will probably raise the interest rate 50 basis points. And boy, what matters now is the corporate tax rate. You do not implement a tax on corporations to give them a reason not to grow and not to build. Why is none of the speakers discussing her economy, her price fixing, $2 trillion giveaways that she wants to fuel in the economy? Do you know what that was doing to inflation, the economy, unemployment? Do you understand? Why? Why is it they talk about everything else except what matters most to everyday Americans? What affects them more than anything else in their wallet, in their pocketbook? Why is it not being discussed here? Why?
Oh, I don't care about her policies. It doesn't really matter to me just because she's a woman. She's a black woman. Interviewer will say she's not black. She's Indian. She just reinvented herself to be black to, well, make herself more appealing to you, a stupid person, a stupid woman. There's a ton of interviews out there. Go to Insta. You'll see it. Like, hey, what's Kamala's policies? I don't really know, and I don't care if she's a woman. I'll vote for her because of that. Well, don't you realize she's going to destroy this country? I don't care. It just makes me feel good. And the CPF, Hollywood, Disney, all the news feeds, some of the churches have told me that in order to be a nice person, I need to vote Democrat, and that's how I'm going to vote. Propaganda bombardment happens in all quarters of our society. And unless you come from a strong family, with a strong dad, a strong mom, it's easily to be deceived. And there are millions who have fallen into that pit, never to climb out again. They are deceived. They sit there and turn their mind off and they surf for days, weeks, months on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the porn sites, all the dating sites, all the news feeds, the main news feeds. I call them the Communist Party feeds. And their mind is warped because of this. They don't have an understanding or an appreciation or any studying of the truth to combat this with. It changes how they think. That's why they're so stupid. Why there's so many stupid people? I could have put this number one, propaganda bombardment, and it's effective. Social media is like forced induction for an engine. In other words, these factors, or I should say these influences, have been existent in society forever. Okay, I'm not saying evil's new. I'm not saying the progressive movement is new. It's not. It's been around a long time. It was present in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, present today. What force media has done is given force induction. It's like turbocharging or supercharging an engine. So if I put a supercharger on my motor, what it's going to do is spin the air, make it denser, go into the combustion chamber, give the engine more power. Turbocharger does the same thing in simplistic terms. That's what social media has done for propaganda. It has sped up and made more effective untruth. And it has been embraced by millions, let's say billions across the world, but we're focusing here on the U.S. all CPF, all corporations, most of them. Many churches are on board with this. They're on board with the message. And it's shoved in their face 24/7 in all kinds of cute ways, diverse casting, message after message after message. Anti-whiteism, DEI, the necessity for reparations, the corrupt nature of our forefathers, how the Constitution has to be destroyed and rewritten, microaggressions, critical race theory, white privilege, gender fluidity, cultural appropriation, on and on and on. That's all part of the ever-changing message, by the way. That's just here and now. All available everywhere. You turn on a mainstream news, not news, but just television. Who watches TV anymore? Oh, that's right. Stupid people do. Especially, I don't know, stupid people. Never mind. I was going to say something. I'll edit that out. ABC, CBS, NBC. You're going to get this in spades. And not just in the programming, whether it's a sitcom, a television show, a drama show, a movie. No, not just that. In commercials, you're going to get it. It is nonstop, 24/7. The message is being forced upon these stupid people and has been embraced by these stupid people. They do not push back against it. And again, if you repeat a lie often enough, loud enough, it will become the truth. Wasn't that Goebbels who said that? Propaganda minister for Hitler. That's the age we live in right now, bro. Why are there so many stupid people? It's a big reason right there. I got to end. It's going too long. No one's even watching anymore. Stupid people are killing this society. They're mostly women. And some of you are saying, oh, that's an outlandish thought that you would say women should not vote. Oh, really? Go ask Pearl. She's a red pill content creator. She's been saying that for years. She's like, women cannot be trusted with power structures. It always turns to shit when women are put in charge. She's right. There are exceptions. I knew women leaders in the military. Air Force retired Lieutenant Colonel. A-10 pouch right here. And by the way, that's Smokey the Bear. And this is a cool, pissed off astronaut trying to figure out what happened to his planet. You probably feel like this guy. I'll have a link to this below. And this awesome chest pouch as well. Yeah, the women of the society have just, most power structures ran by women are corrupt. There are some good ones. I mean, I had some female leaders in the Air Force that I respected. I've flown with female pilots that I've respected. They're good people. They fly the jet good. I would say the majority, to be completely honest, don't fly the jet well. They're awful pilots. They have poor situational awareness. Many of them have ego problems, and they're morons. I'm just being honest. Truth is truth. Maybe I'll talk about that more in future years. Stay tuned. You'll like it. Stupid people are everywhere. This video is not going to eliminate stupid people. They are growing exponentially. We're importing more stupid people. It is a reason that I predict camel toes will win. Definitely get out there and vote. If you do not vote, if you've given up, you're a stupid person. So I'll fault you just like I faulted all the other folks in this video. Wake up, participate, especially in a free, peaceful political process. I'm a huge advocate, defender of rule of law. Oh my goodness, I do not want without rule of law ever. I will do everything in my power to defend the Constitution peacefully. I hope you do as well. I hope you've enjoyed my Instagram inserts. It's going to make the video go longer. It's going to make my points. It's interesting. Again, just stop watching if you don't like it. Before I go, I want to show you this. It's an awesome, perhaps the best submachine gun of World War II, the PPS H-41 Russian submachine gun. 71 drum magazine, 900 to 1,000 rounds per minute, shrouded barrel, 7.62-25 was the main chambering, millions made, 1943 to 47. It was produced after that in other areas. I think the Vietnamese were producing it as well. I do think it is perhaps one of the best, if not the best, submachine gun of World War II. Yeah, I said it. It's just way more ergonomic, had a wood stock, decent sights, really easy to produce. lot less man hours needed versus a PPD submachine gun, if I remember that right. And I'll put a link to this below. This is a replica, of course. Denix, I think, is the manufacturer of this. Looks pretty real, though, doesn't it? Made in Spain. And then this, before I go, I don't even know why I'm showing you this, but I will. This is an Elite Spanker pouch. That's right, Elite Spanker pouch. That's what your wife calls you, an Elite Spanker. And it is an LBE pouch that you can use for first aid, extra ammo. I find they're great for holding shot shells. You can put like 3 of these on the front of an LBE vest and put loose buckshot slugs in there, different pouches for different shells, and they are fantastic, super excellent. Their magazine pouches are also awesome. Made in China, but they're inexpensive and their quality has just been getting better and better. And before I go, I'm going to show you this, the Cold Steel Survivalist fixed blade knife. I know it's a video about stupid people. We're going to end on the gear note because I'm mainly a gear reviewer. A drop forged, super tough spring steel blade. The new one is even better, it has a better handle. The Survivalist. I'll put a link below to Pro 2A Blade HQ. Look at the sheath, bros. Oh my goodness. And we're done. Thanks so much. God help us. God help us. That's what I'll end by saying is that I pray to my Heavenly Father He protects Trump as more and more people try to kill him. It shows you how desperate, how evil the left is to do this. They know they cannot stand on their ideology. They know they're at risk from losing power. And by the way, they do hold power. And most of the power structures of this country are currently leftist. And it's going to get worse. I pray for him. I pray for all good politicians who are working to defend Christianity and this Constitution. Please subscribe. Tell me what you think. I know the comments are going to just be outrageous here. I'll tell you what, though. If I go to the comments and they're pissing me off, I'll just turn them off. It's my creation. I can do it with it whatever I want to. Thanks so much. Rant kind of complete. I could keep going, but that's enough. Thanks so much. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Nutnfancy signing off from the semi-great state of Wyoming in the warehouse. Bye.
8 times 6.
8 times 6.
Yes, ma'am. 8 times 6, Miss Liz. Huh?
8 times 6,
92.
92? I'm lit.
Liz.
Nah, don't use that as an excuse.
Liz. 3 times 7.
21.
21, that's great.
21?
7 times 3. Okay, we can't do it. 8 times 5. 8 times 5, honey. 8 times 5? Huh? I want you to know this so bad. No, not 8 times. 8 times 5, sweetheart.
40.
40. There we go.